Sri Guru Namaha. Planets and the effects of planets on human being. This is $1,000,000 question, going on and on and on. Or to put it in other words, is astrology real or not? Putting it in a very simplest way. First of all, we should understand what is a planet. Is it a heavenly body going around in the space, around the sun? Or is it going to exert any effect on the human beings, on this terrestrial earth, and so on and so forth? The meaning of planet or the word planet is called as Graha, Surya Graha, that is Sun planet, Chandra Graha, to Saturn, that is Shani. The word Graha or planet really means Grunhati iti Grahaha, which means which catches you or which holds you is called as Graha. The planet somewhere away, far, far away from us in the space, which we cannot see by naked eyes. Is it going to affect us or not? This debate is going on from time immemorial. Let us try to understand and let us throw some light on this particular subject. Every human being, for that matter, every living beings, we have receptors in us. There is a signal coming from outside or an impulse coming from outside. There are receptors in us which affects us in one way or the other. How do we justify this? For simple example, does sunlight affect us or not? If you are not exposed to sun for a very, very long time, you develop a lot of diseases. The sunshine, the sunlight gives us vitamin D. We know about this. How does this happen? We all know. How does sunlight synthesize D vitamin us? Isn't it? So, all the external impulses or signals which comes to us, we have receptors in our body. So, when our ancient seers spoke about these planets and effects of planets, to make the concept very easy to us, they said these are the heavenly bodies going around in the space. Do you think it is a story? No. There is another shocking news for you all. The movement of this heavenly body in the space and the signals what it throws towards other planets, including the Earth, and the receptors in us, if they don't go parallel to each other, the human beings or all the living beings for that matter, they invariably suffer. This is proved time and again. Where are these receptors? Is another big question. And we need to once again talk about exclusively about these receptors and the abode of planets in one's own system. That is subject of upcoming videos. We shall do that later on. But now we will come back to our basic question saying that what are planets? This is a basic question and it is very beautifully told in our ancient lore that Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. These are called as 7 important planets. We exclude Rahu and Ketu here because they are called as shadow planets. They don't have a particular body or they are not assigned to a particular planetary movement. So, what does Sun mean to you all? It is a heavenly body which gives us light and vital heat and so on and so forth, which helps us in photosynthesis and gives us fruit, food, grains, eatables, and which brings rainfall also. But apart from that, the receptors in us, as already told you, the receptor what we have and the signals or the impulses which we receive from sun is called as what? Grunhati. Once again remember that word Grunhati means which catches us, which grasps us, which holds us through time. Grunhati iti grahaha, as previously told. So the sun, what does it catch? What does it hold in us is time. We are caught in time. Yes or no? 100% it will be yes from you. What is meant by moon? How does moon act and react with us? It plays with our emotions or it plays with our mind. That is why any problem, mental issues, it is called as lunacy or lunacy. Luna means moon. So, the moon catch holds of our emotions, our mind principle. And third one is Mars. What does he do? It is called as sattva, the energy. Where is our energy? It is in our body and mind also, of course. But if your body is not right, your mind doesn't work. So, our physical form is caught or is held by Mars. Then comes Mercury. What does Mercury do? How does that particular planet has a bearing on us is about our communicative skills. That is our articulated talk or writing or any kind of communication for that matter. This planet is Jupiter. Jupiter signifies knowledge, wisdom and information. We are caught in our ideas, we are caught with information, it catches us. Or you might catch it. It is one and the same, vice versa. Knowledge. And next comes Venus. What does Venus? It is called even as Cupid. The enjoyments, the joy is attributed to the planet Venus. We are all caught, we are all held by our enjoyment and joy. And then comes the most feared Saturn. Sanskrit is called as Shani. We are caught in our sorrows and in our sufferings. Planets in the sense, for every external natural impulses, parallelly we have equal receptors. Once again, I am repeating this to make it very, very, very clear to you. This is a very, very basic point what we are going to talk and what we should understand. So to sum up, to put the whole thing in a small nutshell, if we question to ourselves, are we not caught up in time? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Are we not caught up by emotions? Yes, of course we are. We have n number of emotions playing in and around us every day, every second, every moment. And third one is, are we not caught by communicative skills? Yes, we are. By somebody else's communicative skills and chaste language, you are attracted towards them. And certain people, they are not good orators, like me. Generally what happens, they are not attracted too much towards them. This is the concept of Mercury. And then comes Jupiter. As we told, it is knowledge. Are we not caught by knowledge and information? Yes, we are. We have our own decisions. We have our own notions. We have our own understandings. The same information what comes from outside is understood by 10 people in 10 different ways. Why is that? It was because of communication from the outer nature and the receptors. The receptors are different from person to person. Otherwise, in one particular class or schooling time, in a particular class, if there were 50 students, all the 50 students should score the same number of marks. There shouldn't be any deviation and differences there at all. Why is that not happening? They say it is because of his mental faculty. We are talking about moon there. And we say, why is that? He remembers a lot, but he cannot put it on paper. There comes your Mercury. And it is very difficult for him to understand. He doesn't understand it properly. There comes your receptor of Jupiter. This is what we are talking. So we are caught up in our own whirlpool of planets. And then it is Venus, which is enjoyment, which is joy. Are we not caught by our enjoyments and our joy? Yes, we are. And then Saturn. Are we not caught by our sufferings and sorrow, our shortcomings in life? Yes. So, put together the time, the emotions, physical limitations. When we talk about Mars, it is physical limitations. Are we not caught by our physical limitations? Yes, we are. We age day by day, day by day. We go through a lot of physical sufferings also. There is a limitation. We are caught in that. So coming back, time, emotions, or mind, physical limitations. Fourth one is communicative skills. Fifth one is knowledge and information and wisdom. Sixth one is your joy and your enjoyment. And the seventh one is sorrow and sufferings and shortcomings. If I ask you a question, are you not caught in these 7 principles? If your answer is no, then astrology doesn't apply to you. You can simply forget about that. Need not dwell about that and talk about that, debate about that. Forget about that. And if your answer is affirmative, that you are affected by time, you are affected by emotions, you are affected by physical limitations, you are affected by communications, you are affected by knowledge and understanding, you are affected by enjoyment and joy, you are affected by sufferings and sorrow, then whether you like it or not, my dear friends, astrology applies to you. There is a beautiful saying, Amantaram aksharam nasti nasti moola manaushadam ayogyah purusho nasti yojakastatra durlabha, which means there is not even a single sound which is not a mantra or a divine hymn. Nasti moola manaushadam. There is not even a single plant or a herb or a shrub which is not medicine. Ayogyah purusho nasti. There is not even a single human being who is useless. Yojakastat durlabha. But it is very seldom you come across a person who can recognize and make use of this. Why I narrated this sloka is because without understanding the basic principles of our ancient seers who spoke about astrology or the planets, we arrive to decisions, which is very bad for our culture, Indian culture and Sanatana Dharma. In the upcoming videos, we shall throw a lot of light upon this, about receptors. We'll talk about these receptors. And mind you, these receptors, when I talk, it will be really very, very interesting, because it has got lot to do with the yogic practices in our Indian culture. It is highly connected, and there is 100% affinity between planets and the receptors and the yoga. And this astrology is called as Veda Anga. We all know about Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda or Atharvana Veda. Astrology is supposed to be the eyes of Vedas. Vedanga means a part of Veda once again. So, a human being without eyes, he will suffer a lot. It will be very, very difficult for him to carry out his deeds, his actions, his decision making, even his walking. Similarly, the Vedic practices, spiritual practices, or even any kind of what you call as materialistic practices, without astrology, it is very difficult to carry out. It is like a blind person leading another blind. Astrology, in the sense, it is not the planet somewhere going around there. Shani is going to trouble you, As I told, if when there is no affinity between these planetary signals and the receptors, that is called as planetary afflictions, which is called as grahadosh. And our ancients envisaged a way to come out of these sufferings also. That is why there are a lot of remedial measures which are performed. Like a doctor advises everybody, if you are suffering because of vitamin D deficiency, he asks you to expose yourself to sunshine, sunlight. Like that, there are a lot of remedial measures. In the upcoming future videos, we are even going to talk about that. I pray all the planets to bless you all with happiness, joy, and good health.